we've been talking about how to help our child, our godchild, who is in this world seemingly as our child, to be able to handle issues that come up for us as parents to deal with them. Let's look at education. Does the school teach the child that they're holy? I think that if they are a school of the state, that it is not permitted, because we run into the problem that children who send that parents who send their children to school who do not believe that that's the identification that they should have, that they have their rights as well not to be exposed to this kind of thing. And chances are they're in a greater majority than those who know that their child is holy. So your child comes home, possibly mentions what's going on. How do you help your child to be able to deal with belief systems that are different from theirs? The important thing, again, is openness to your child, that your child feels safe to talk with you about what's going on. To be able to do that, to feel safe with you, you're teaching them to know that there is an inner safety within inside themselves, that they can also deal with their schoolmates, their teachers, as well as they do with you. You're teaching them to recognize that everybody is lost, and how to be able to handle the lostness. The first way, of course, is for them to be open to the fact that people react negatively. It has nothing to do with them, but they're troubled. And God enables you to find the ways to teach your children to see this in other people. God will teach your child the best way to handle these issues, and very frequently for you to represent yourself how to be able to handle them. If anybody is bullying your child, or if anybody is mistreating your child, how do you handle that? The crucial thing is to recognize that the person that is doing that is just lost and in trouble and really wants to be stopped. Really wants to be stopped, because there is this divine part of them which they're not in touch with, and they can't get in touch with it unless somebody is going to help them to stop, which means to report any kind of bullying, either if they feel safe to report it to the teacher, what's going on, to be able to do that, but certainly to be able to speak with you at home about what's happening in order for you to protect your child against the world's aggressiveness towards them. And it might be that if you can't provide that protection at that school, you have to go to God and say, what is it that you wish for me to be able to do to provide a protection, a safety to my child against needless kinds of aggression that can be dealt with, and to fall quiet and to sense it. There is within you a quiet spot, a place of peace, that when you bring these issues of your child or in any other way of circumstances within you, there is a place of peace which dictates what to be able to do. I mentioned that it might be that you have to change the educational facility where you're at, that it is a danger to your child's well-being. And again, you go to God with this kind of a matter in order to let God direct you on what will be best for your child, and even best through your child with people who are acting in a negative fashion with them. It does not mean that you're saying to your child, let somebody beat the dickens out of you. No. In fact, where violence is concerned, I do not believe in attacking the one who is doing that to you, but rather to try to contain the person, that they can see that there is no wish to injure them back, but that you are in some way, if you have to be physical, using minimum force to protect yourself, holding them in some way until assistance can be made available, or the other person sees that they're not receiving an attack back as they're delivering. Again, your child can find this in God if they find it in you. Your child can find out what is of worth in education, of what needs to be learned, if they see it as well within you. Because there are things that are just absolutely irrelevant to what a child who is sensing the divine nature needs to learn. And it needs to be broached. The school does not have a tendency to do that. The school does not stand on the circumstance by which you're encouraging your child to go to God in order to find solutions. And frankly, it is the only way that it can be handled. There is no other solution to the problems of how we feel about ourselves, how we feel about others, and to circumstances than to go to God. It has to be. But when you realize that yourself as a parent, you will be able to strongly support it in your child, who then becomes also a healer with God to help other people who are lost. And that is the ultimate job of ourselves and of our children, to be able to learn how to be healers. And God is right there through you and through others as well who can influence your child to turn to God, because in God there is the ultimate safety. Not in our plans for the child, but in what God's plans are for the child. What God's plans are, and you only learn that by going to God. Hope this is helpful to you.